morning.
Good morning.
All right, let's see who we have on here. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning, Paul.
How are you doing?
I'm doing so much better. I was sick for a little while, so that's why I've been gone.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was sick myself with that flu bug. That was a couple of weeks ago. Good to see you're doing okay.
Yeah, it was a flu bug too, so back with a vengeance.
All right, good deal.
Let's try to get after it.
All right. Ulu Femi, good morning, sir. How are you doing? And Chris, good morning,
Good
sir.
stuff,
How you
Chris.
doing?
Good morning. Pretty good. How about you?
Good, good. All right. We'll give it a couple more minutes here. Give us some time for folks to join. Has anyone scheduled the, I know I ask this all the time, but I try to get a good sense of who's upcoming to take the exam. Has anyone scheduled it yet or taking it in the near future?
I've scheduled. I rescheduled for March. Yeah, I think March 5th.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
March 5th. I had a class I'm taking right now that's going to be over in a couple weeks, so I figure a month after that.
Okay.
Just going to take it then.
All right. And I'm going to put this out there for some of you guys who don't know. There is a boot camp that's offered by this study group. It seems to be pretty good. If anybody wants info on it, they can either contact me or Vincent, the creator of this group. But I know a couple of people that's taken the boot camp and they liked it. Not, I won't say everybody needs to take it, but if you're somebody who has a good grasp and you need like a quick refresher right before taking the exam, I think it's something worth taking a look at, and getting you in that zone ready to take the exam. And I think they have a discounted rate on it. So I think it's also in the school thing there. I'll have to double check though, but that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think it's listed on there too.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was looking for the date on it.
The date on your exam?
No, the date on it just says Q1 20.
Oh, okay, for the boot camp. Let me see here. I think Vincent sent me an updated.
Excuse me.
Let's see, school. See what we got here.
Yeah, even on the classroom, it just says Q1.
Okay, I'll have to clarify that with Vincent and get back to you guys on that. So, Claudie and Chris, once I get that information, I'll just either have Vincent or myself send you the info or just notify you that the info has been uploaded, the current information. It's not locking you into anything. It's just giving you guys that the information is out there.
Okay, Sounds good.
All right, good deal. Olufemi, is that something you'd be interested in, the boot camp, or no?
I already knew about the boot camp.
Mhm.
I did the exam once, but I have another one scheduled for the 7th of February.
Okay.
So I'm just joining all this course also just to get a better hang of it, actually.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. All right, we'll give it a few more minutes here and then we'll start.
Good morning, Annette.
Annette, hi.
Hi, good morning, guys. How you
Good
doing?
So good to see you. We'll hear
Oh,
you.
Yeah, you too. I was actually I missed class on Monday because it's been a while because I was ever since Saturday night I was in the hospital with my son. He had
Oh
walk,
no.
yeah, he has well, he had walking pneumonia.
Is he
So
better?
he's better now. Uh-huh.
Oh good.
He's recovering, but he's better now, a lot better. So
So glad to hear it.
Yeah.
It was scary.
yeah, it's hard to see them in the hospital sick and everything. So it was, yeah, I'm glad he's better. Thank you. How's everybody doing? Good?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. That's great. Missed you guys last night. So at the study group. But I
Mhm.
know that you guys are doing the other study group, and how's that going? Pretty good.
It's going really good. Yeah.
So
And we got 4 more sessions, so 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks and we'll be back together again.
all right.
Back together.
Yep. Miss you guys a lot. So, but you know it's growing.
Yeah, I noticed. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good morning, guys. Annette, I see you joined. Good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Thank you.
Kind of overheard you. I was making a cup of coffee here, but yeah, I had walking pneumonia as well.
Oh my gosh.
I think I had walking, running, and sitting down pneumonia. The way I felt. I think I had all 3 of them because I was down for the count.
Yeah, that's what my son was like, I don't feel like doing anything. Like he had fever, like I guess you were doing the same thing where you would break out in fevers and then and then the cold sweats and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. I had the whole shebang. It was horrible.
It was horrible, yeah.
Yeah, congestion and sore throat and yeah, I'm running from that like the plague. But yeah, I'm trying to just keep my immune system boosted and trying to stay ahead of this thing. But yeah, glad to see you're doing okay.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my son, my 10-year-old son's the one that was real
Oh, okay, your 10-year-old son. Okay, yeah,
sick.
that's
He was the one that was real sick. So, but now he's doing a lot better. He's just still, the cough's lingering, but he's doing a lot better.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
And that's always rough in a household when you have, other people because it's likely to spread, right? But that's good that he's doing better. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, glad to know he's doing better. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and kick this off, and you guys know my format. It's pretty informal. I basically pepper you guys with questions. Well, not pepper, but we go over questions from the varying domains, and then we do a deep dive on the answering session and answer questions and dive a little deeper if we need to. And I always suggest you guys mark the areas where you're weak at and focus more on those areas. Don't focus only on those areas. Still focus on the areas where you're strong at, because you never know what this exam can hit you with. So, but I would say focus a lot of your time on the areas where you're weak at to boost your proficiency in those areas. So, all right, let me go ahead and pull up my questions here. That's interesting. Okay. Got them pulled up already. That was Wednesday. All right. All right, so we're going to start out with domain 3. All right, so the first question from domain 3 states, Sally is blocked from writing to the data file by the Biba integrity model. Sally has a secret security clearance and the file is classified top secret. What principle is preventing her from writing to the file? A, simple security property. B, simple integrity property. C, star security property. Or D, star integrity property. Stand by for the question. And you have 60 seconds on the clock.
I'm having
All
a
right.
tough time choosing between the integrity, the star, remembering what the star was. I know it's integrity, but it's like, oh, I can't remember what the star was. All right, I'm gonna choose.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's writing both ways, but whatever.
I get it. And none of us know every single thing on this exam, so you're gonna have to, a certain percentage of this exam is gonna be guessing. So, suggest doing the best guess scenario, and All right, so let's see here. We've got all right. All right, so yeah, the question is, Sally is blocked from writing to the data file by the Biba integrity model. Sally has a secret security clearance and the file is classified top secret. What principle is preventing her from writing to the file? Correct answer is D, the star integrity property. The star integrity property states that a subject cannot modify an object at a higher integrity level than that possessed by the subject. So, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's pretty knowledge based. It's either you know it or you don't. I would highly suggest hammering the Biba and what's the other one? Biba and
Lapadula.
Yep.
yeah, Bell Lapadula.
Lapadula.
Yeah, old Bell Lapadula. I would definitely suggest hammering away at those, knowing the nuances and the differences and the likes and between the star and simple properties. Does anyone have any further input on this or question? All right, Chris, I see you posted. Yep, access to model.
A site that explains it pretty well.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Moving on to the next question, also from domain 3. Stand by. All right, this question states, Alan is reviewing a system that has been assigned to EAL1 evaluation assurance level under the common criteria. So you need to know your evaluation assurance levels. What is the degree of assurance he may have about the system? A, it has been fully functionally tested. B, it has been structurally tested. C, it has been formally verified, designed, and tested. Or D, it has been methodically designed, tested, and reviewed. Stand by for the question coming your way. 60 seconds on the clock. All right. Looks like you're all on top of that one. Correct answer is A. EAL level 1 assurance applies when the system in question has been functionally tested. It is the lowest level of assurance under the common criteria. So I would also suggest knowing these. They can hit you with any one of the different 7 levels of the EAL criteria. Let's see what we got here. So who knows what the structurally tested level is for the EAL? What level is that?
2.
Yep, correct. Now, where I start getting hazy is where they start getting down into the ones where it's methodically designed, tested, and reviewed, and semi-formally designed and tested. That's where I get mixed up in the mess. So I would, spend a little bit extra time if I were you guys, making sure because they will try to trip you up. Like the differences between 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. EL level 3 and 4 are very close. EL 5 and 6 are very close. 7 stands out because it's the only one that's so formally verified and designed and tested. 3 and 4, the only difference is 4 has an additional review instead of just being well, actually it's more than that. EL3 is methodically tested and checked. EL4 is methodically designed, tested, and reviewed. EL5 semi-formally designed and tested. EL6 semi-formally verified, designed, and tested. So just spend a little extra time on those. I would suggest, and be ready to see that on the exam. All right, stand by for the next question. So the next one is from domain 4. Question states, what is the default subnet mask for Class B network? A, 255.0.0.0, B, 255.255.0.0, C, 255.254.0.0, C, 255.255.255.0. Stand by for the question coming your way. 60 seconds on the clock. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, looks like everyone got that one as well.
I just saw Mike Chappell LinkedIn video yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
I know. Spent most of yesterday watching that. I'm like, okay, I'll take that visualization.
Yep, definitely helps. Definitely helps to know subnet masking and the different classes. Although, you know, we're moving more into the IPv6 space. IPv4 is still here and in its various forms. Okay, so who knows the subnet mask for the Class C address?
It's excuse me, 192.168.0.0.
The subnet mask though.
Oh, the subnet.
Yeah, subnet mask.
Okay. It's gonna be the 255.255.255.0.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
That is it. Yeah. Who knows the other form? And I'll only ask these questions when we're on them to try to hammer them home for you guys. What's the other form of representing a subnet mask instead of the 255 formatting? What's the term you use to use like
CIDR. The CIDR.
yes. Yeah. What does that stand for? Classless Interdomain Routing, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're correct. The CIDR is another way that they represent subnet masking. I'm not sure who invented that, but you have to be a serious scientist or mathematician to come up, because basically what they did.
It allows you to break down the subnets even further. You can break it
Yes.
down into groups of even one IP address for, and so on.
Yeah. Yeah. Which to me is kind of genius, because
it's not terribly hard once you understand the concept, but
Mhm.
you have to wrap your head around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's genius because, back in the day, when, IPv4 was created, they thought that, that was a big number and, they would never run out. But, here we are. And some mathematician came up with the way to further break down and get more addresses out of the limited number of IPv4 addresses that there were. And it's genius, to be honest. But even that has been overextended, and now we're into the IPv6 space, which has a crazy amount of numbers. And I know that's probably what was said when IPv4 came out, but I don't see us running out of that anytime soon. So I forgot what the exact number is for IPv6, but it's a huge number. It's a huge number.
Yep.
Not saying that we can't run out, because to be honest, the way technology advances and the leaps and bounds that we take forward, sometimes, we might have like some kind of revelation where, everything requires an IP address, and that's going to eat up a chunk of IP addresses. I'll say on average.
So here's what I found. I'm going to put this in the chat real quick.
And I'm just going to throw this out there, just off the top of my head. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yep, that's a big number. Undecillion.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's something that we would ever run out of. Each atom on Earth with about 100 IPv6 addresses.
Yeah. But, like I said, you have to think back when IPv4 came out. They're like, yeah, this is a crazy number. We're never going to run out. We made it big enough. And I'm pretty sure some people were saying similar to what we're saying now. Like, yeah, we're never going to run out of this. It's just numbers on numbers on numbers. But to your point, I don't see us running out of this. That's just a crazy number. That's almost, I would use the Google term, the term Google, which we know is, to represent like a huge number of things. But yeah. So, but I was my train of thought was that I'm just throwing a number out here. Back in the day when, the internet, even not too far ago, I mean, people probably had maybe 1 to 4 IP addresses in their household for, their 1 or 2 computers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say on average now it's probably 10 to 15, and that, I'm coming in low per household, because you think of the number of smart devices, laptops, smart TVs, cameras, cell phones. So
refrigerators.
Exactly. Yeah. Refrigerators, washing machines, you name it. Air fryers, everything has a, some kind of IP address now. So think about that. Only a few years ago, it was just about 4 per household on average.
Yeah. I mean, but the Class Cs are not the ones that are really that critical or running out, because obviously they're private. They could be reused in different networks, but the public IPs are where the concern is.
Right.
It's the big dogs like Amazon and Google and all those are using up all those really quick.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that to draw the reference that, when we become complacent, like, oh yeah, that's, we'll never run out, or I'm just showing the rate of advancement of the requirement for IPs just a few years ago.
Yep.
So, and me personally, I foresee this getting out of control here in the next couple of years, a few years. I see IP addresses being needed for any and each and everything that you can think of, whether it be medical devices, whatever. I'm just throwing it out there. Anyway, I went down a rabbit hole. So anyway, let's go on to the next question here. All right, let's see. All right, also from domain 4. Stand by. Here. All right, so the question states, the question from domain 4. Jim's organization uses a traditional PBX for voice communications. What is the most common security issue that its internal communications are likely to face? And what should he recommend to prevent it? A, eavesdropping / encryption. B, man-in-the-middle attacks / end-to-end encryption. C, eavesdropping / physical security. D, war dialing / deploying IPS. Stand by for the question. So it's a two-part question. It's asking you what it is and what should be done about it. Stand by. 60 seconds on the clock. All right. Let's
Chris,
see.
I thought we had this last night, didn't we? I couldn't remember something like this.
It was similar, but it was related to not resetting default pins. Because in the past, PBX were able to be hacked by hackers guessing voicemail pins, getting in and forwarding phone calls to an outside number that was a long distance number, and they could use that to charge long distance to your company.
Okay, and you said they would be able to get in how?
Through the voicemail system. If there were weak pins,
okay.
like somebody set a pin 1111, they could get in there, and then they could turn on forwarding on that mailbox. Call forwarding, not just notifications. And they would forward to a long distance number, and then the hackers would leverage that to dial long distance, but from your system, and you would be charged for it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. All right. So good input on that question. So the question states, Jim's organization uses a traditional PBX for voice communication. What is the most common security issue that its internal communications are likely to face? And what should he recommend to prevent it? So the answer on this one is C, eavesdropping, and what he would do to prevent it is physical security.
Okay, gotcha. That was my other choice, but I went with the encryption one.
Yeah, I think what kind of...
But I don't think you can really encrypt the voice traffic on a PBX system.
Right. And I think the key that would kind of steer you towards C would be traditional PBX. That's the whatchamacallit, I want to say the old style.
Yeah, and anytime they say PBX, they're referring to an old school phone
Yes,
system.
yes.
That's what I thought as well when it said, I didn't think we could have used the encryption. That's what steered me away from it.
Yeah, but that's why these questions are good, right? Kind of get you in that frame of mind. Again, they'll do anything to throw you off, or but try to look for those keywords and things like that to kind of and PBXs are usually have like keypad entries. Well, they're supposed to. I'm not saying everyone does, but to keep people out that are not authorized to be in that space. All right.
But if it were voice over IP, you would use some encryption.
Yes, that's different. But voice over IP, we're we're in a different space now. Definitely, you need all kind of protections with that. All right, let's see here. And of course, man in the middle, that's not the type of an attack. War dialing, we know that's an old school method of basically sniffing for networks, driving around and trying to war dial into a someone's either private or business network or what have you.
Yep.
But
I put a link in the chat there. That's to that other thing that I was talking about with the voicemail systems getting hacked. Not applicable to this question, but that gives you more information as to how that worked.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Let's see here. All right, moving on. Okay, next question is going to be from domain 5. Stand by. All right. Next question is from domain 5. Question states, when might an organization using biometrics choose to allow a higher FRR instead of a higher FAR? A, when security is more important than usability. B, when false rejection is not a concern due to data quality. C, when the CER of the system is not known. Or D, when the CER of the system is very high. Stand by. Question on the way. 60 seconds on the clock. All right. See what we got here. All right. All right. Looks like you guys got that one correct as well. Correct answer is, let me read the question again. When might an organization using biometrics choose to allow a higher FRR instead of a higher FAR? Correct answer is A, when security is more important than usability. The book explains, goes on to explain, organizations that have very strict security requirements that don't have a tolerance for false acceptance want to lower the false acceptance rate, or FAR, to be as near to zero as possible. That often means that the false rejection rate, or FRR, increases. Different biometric technologies or a better registration method can help improve biometric performance. But false rejections due to data quality are not typically a concern with modern biometric systems. In this case, knowing the crossover error rate, or CER, or having a very high CER doesn't help the decision. Does anyone have any input on that or questions on that? Yeah. I will say, know this in and out, forwards and backwards. This will definitely be on the exam in one form or another, whether it's the CER or the FR and FAR. They're going to pose questions to you as to when you should have a higher FR or FAR, and everything in between. Okay, so that's when using biometrics to allow higher FR. What's the downside to using a higher FR, like in this question? It says, when might an organization using biometrics choose to allow? So in this case, they want it higher, but what's the downside to that?
I mean, FRR is the false rejection rate. So instead of failing open or allowing you in, it's going to reject you and say that you're not who you say you are.
Right, but what's the downside of having a higher FRR?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What's the downside of having FRR?
A higher FRR.
That nobody will be able to get into the system when they need to. If they are, there's a higher rate of rejections.
Right. So the FR false rejection rate, if that's increased, that means the number of rejections, false
Is greater.
rejections are greater.
Yeah. So instead of letting you in, it's not going to let you in. So you're not able to do what you need to do if you're being rejected from logging in.
Right. Right. Also, to that, it's a false rejection. So you have valid authorized users that's not getting access and availability to do what they need to do because it's a
Exactly.
false rejection.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where CER comes in because it tries to strike a balance, right? The crossover error rate tries to strike a balance between that, right? So these things all kind of coincide and are relatable to each other. If you raise one, it affects the other conversely, and if you decrease the other, it has an effect on the other one. So you have to know what the question in the exam might be asking and how to apply that because they are going to try and trick you. And you'll be thinking, oh, okay, yeah, false rejection. That's what it means in yeah. Anyway, good input there. All right, so moving on to the next question. Let's see here.
Yeah, and you got to weigh which is more important to them, having the users be able to, work, and it's not as secure, or if security is the key there.
Exactly. So when you summarize the question, know what the question is asking. Don't put your version on the question as what you want it to ask. Know what the question is asking because any number of answers could be correct depending on what they're asking. Right. So just like Chris stated, you have to know the context, basically.
Yep.
So, all right, moving on to the next question. Let's see what we got here. Also from domain 5, stand by. All right, also from domain 5, this question states, Nick wants to do session management for his web applications. Which of the following are common web application session management techniques or methods? A, IP tracking. B, cookies. C, URL rewriting. Or D, TLS tokens. Stand by for the question being posted. And 60 seconds on the clock. Read the question. let's see what we got here. All righty. Okay. Yeah, so this one could be a little bit hazy. So again, from domain 5, Nick wants to do session management for his web applications. Which of the following are common web application session management techniques or methods? So that's good that you guys read the question, because it also says select all that apply. It's not a one answer question. So the correct answers are B and C. And Chris, I saw you had it correct in the beginning, but then you added on D. It happens to the best of us. You know, I mean, you weren't wrong, but I immediately went to TLS tokens to be honest with you, as one of them. But according to the answer in the book, it says here, common session management techniques include the use of cookies, hidden form fields, URL rewriting, and built-in frameworks like Java's HTTP session. IP tracking may be included in session information, but it is not itself a complete session identifier. TLS token binding is used to make TLS sessions more secure, not to provide session identification. So a little play on words there. See, B and C, cookies and URL rewriting are the two correct ones for this. To be honest, I didn't think cookies, but I guess as I read into it, you know, I didn't think it managed the session. I know it was part of the session, but I didn't think it managed the session management. So yeah, I would have got this one wrong, or half wrong, but there's no half wrongs on the exam, right? Half rights. So does anybody have any inputs or question on this one? Usually they say your first answer is the correct, is usually correct. I don't know, I guess they did studies, but you know, I don't know, because I've seen stuff to where when I changed it, it was actually correct, but who knows? All right, moving on. Let's see. All right, moving on to domain 6. And stand by for the question. All right, questions for domain 6. Question states, what technology should an organization use for its devices to ensure that logs can be time sequenced across the entire infrastructure? A, syslog, B, NTP, C, logsync, or D, snap? Stand by for the question being posted. And 60 seconds on the clock. All right, let's see here. All right, looks like everyone got that one correct as well. What technology did an organization use for its devices to ensure that logs can be time sequenced across the entire infrastructure? NTP. Network time protocol can ensure that systems are using the same time, allowing time sequencing for logs throughout a centralized logging infrastructure. syslog is a way for systems to send logs to a logging server and won't address time sequencing. Neither log sync nor snap is an industry term. Does anyone have any input on that or questions on that?
That one seems straightforward.
Yeah. Mhm. Now, let me pose another question from based on this. Well, Chris said he had to step away for a minute. Okay, Chris, no problem.
I'm back now. I
Oh,
didn't get a
okay.
chance to put in an answer there.
Oh, no problem. Let's see here. So another question based on this question. Let's see here. Okay, so it's asking what technology should an organization use for its devices to ensure that logs can be time sequenced. What kind of problems could be introduced if NTP isn't implemented or if the time isn't synced in this particular situation?
Would it make analyzing the logs difficult?
Who said that? Yes, correct.
Quoted.
Correct, Claudia. Yes, yes. That is definitely one of the problems. And to dive a little bit deeper, on the surface, that might not seem like a big deal, but if any of us in networking and stuff like that knows, if you're trying to track down a problem or trying to track down an outage or somebody breaking into your network, if the times are not synced, you basically won't know what happened, and what you might know what happened, but you might not know exactly when it happened. And that's very critical to have a time sequence of events as to when stuff happened. If that time is not,
In
yeah, go ahead.
addition to the problem with the logs, it could cause some other issues with logging into things if you use two-factor,
Right.
and that kind of thing as well.
Yes. Yeah. So it's very important. Anyway, just want to throw that out there. All right. Let's see here. Moving on. Next question is also from domain 6. All right, the question states, Aaron wants to validate his compliance with PCI DSS. His company is a large commercial organization with millions of dollars in transactions a year. What is the most common method of conducting this type of testing for large organizations? A, self-assessment. B, to conduct a third-party assessment using COBIT. C, to partner with another company and trade assessments between the organizations. Or D, to conduct a third-party assessment using a qualified security assessor. Stand by for the question being posted. 60 seconds on the clock. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, looks like everybody got that one correct as well. So Aaron wants to validate his compliance with PCI DSS. His company is a large commercial organization. What is the most common method of conducting this type of testing for large organizations? D, to conduct a third-party assessment using a qualified security assessor. So the book further explains it as large organizations hire qualified security assessors, QSAs, to conduct compliance checks. Third-party certification is required for large organizations by PCI DSS, although smaller organizations can self-certify. So let me ask this question. On this question, what's the key determining term in here that could have changed the answer to another answer in this question?
The fact that it was a large organization.
Correct. Yes.
Although even if it was a small organization, if they did millions of dollars in transactions, that might change things.
Yeah. But the way it's asked, correct to your point, the key term here is large organizations. So let's see. Aaron wants to validate his compliance with PCI DSS. This company is a large commercial organization with millions of dollars in transactions a year. What is the most common method of conducting this type? Okay, so what is the most common method? But yeah, you bring up a good point. What if it's a small, say if it's a small mom and pop and they're generating like crazy revenue, right?
Yeah, there is probably some kind of requirement if you're doing so many transactions that it has to be conducted by. There's probably a requirement that says if you do over so many transactions, you do have to have a qualified auditor or assessor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even if you're a small company.
Yeah.
But I don't know the details.
To be honest, as I think about it now, though, it'll probably be even if they're generating a high revenue, I would think that it would still probably fall under self-assessment. I'm just spitballing here because it's not, you're not dealing with a large number of employees and transactions per se, to where you have to have an outside third party coming in. It's your business. Yeah, it's your business. It's a small staff. You know what's going in and coming out, so you can probably still do a self-assessment. I'm just guessing, but you're probably right. There's probably some kind of requirement as to once you reach this threshold, you need a third party.
And it may not be a dollar threshold. It may be a number of transactions threshold.
Right. And that is not my area of expertise. So I'm just spitballing. So, but yeah, good input there. All right, let's see here. All right, so the next one is going to be from domain 7. Stand by. Let's see. All right, domain 7, question states, which one of the following types of agreements is the most formal document that contains expectations about availability and other performance parameters between a service provider and a customer? A, SLA, B, OLA, C, MOU, or D, SOW? Stand by. 60 seconds on the clock. All right, let's see here. All right, looks like you guys on top of this one as well. Correct. All right, so the correct answer, which of one of the following types of agreements is the most formal document that contains expectations about availability and other performance parameters between a service provider and a customer? Correct answer is A, SLA, service level agreement. All right, so let me pose the question a different way. Which one of the following types of agreements is not a formal document, but contains expectations about availability and other performance parameters between a service provider and a customer? Can you guys hear me on that one?
The memorandum of understanding.
Correct. Yes. Yes, that is correct. So memorandum of understanding is similar, but it's not as formal as an SLA, which is a more formal and like a binding contract, so to speak. Memorandum of understanding is just that. It's basically like more of an agreement, like not formal. It's, hey, you know, you're going to provide this, and we understand you're going to provide this, and we understand that's what's expected. So good deal.
I'm going to jump back to the PCI one. I put something in the chat there. So there are different levels. If you have, I think it's, where's level 1? It's like 6 million transactions. Then you need an assessor.
Ah, okay. So it doesn't matter the size of the business?
Nope. It's the number of transactions puts you at a certain level. Businesses that process over 6 million card transactions per year are level 1. Anything level 1 and above requires an assessor, a professional assessor.
Gotcha. Yeah, appreciate that, man. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I would guess that the that the IRS wants to know if you go over a certain level, whether you're a small business or not. So okay, that makes sense. Good deal. All right, on this same question, what's in for the OLA? Let me pose the question this way. Well, what is an OLA? And how's it different from the SLA and the MOU?
It's an organizational agreement that determines how departments work together to meet
Yes.
requirements,
Right.
service level requirements.
Right. So the major difference would be that it's internal, right, to the organization. Yes, correct. Whereas the other two are between the service provider and the customer client. So yes, correct. All right. And of course, statement of work is an addendum to a contract. So, an add-on basically at the end of a contract. I guess, maybe they wanted additional stuff done or thought about something afterwards. It's an addendum to a contract describing work to be performed. That's what statement of work is. I would know these. I won't spend too much time on them, but know the differences. And yeah. All right. So let's see here. Next question. Moving on, domain. Still in domain 7. All right, so the question states, and wants to gather information about security settings, as well as build an overall view of the organization's assets by gathering data about a group of Windows 10 workstations that's spread throughout the company. What Windows tool is best suited to this type of configuration management task? A, SCCM, B, group policy, C, SCOM, or D, a custom PowerShell script? Stand by for the question. 60 seconds on the clock. All right, let's see here. So I myself got this one wrong, just guessing off the top of my head. So let's see here. It says Anne wants to gather information about security settings as well as build an overall view of the organization's assets by gathering data about a group of Windows 10 workstations spread throughout the company. What Windows-based tool is best suited to this type of configuration management task? Okay, so the correct answer is A, SCCM. SCCM stands for System Center Configuration Manager, which I did not know. So provides this capability and is designed to allow administrators to evaluate the configuration status of Windows workstations and servers, as well as providing asset management data. I immediately went for group policy just off the top of my head, but it says group policy can be used for a variety of tasks, including deploying settings and software, but it just left it at that.
Yeah, it's not going to allow you any kind of reporting, really.
Yeah. Then it says, and custom PowerShell script could do this, but should not be required for a configuration check. So again, some of these answers are going to be close, but you have to know the nuances and the differences between each and what the question is asking. You know, just one of those things. SCOM is primarily used to monitor for health and performance. Yeah, so you'd have to know what SCCM is, which I didn't know off the top of. So.
Yeah, and there was a key phrase in that question that I missed: configuration management task. Because that's really what SCCM is, configuration management.
Yeah. So another good point. Remember to watch out for those terms in the question. Sometimes the terms can help give you the answer as well, or help clarify what the question is asking. And sometimes even terms or even one word could change the whole ask of the question. So, you know, if it's not enough that you have to worry about, you have to look out for those one word qualifiers or disqualifiers in the question that can change the whole meaning of the question. But yeah, definitely pay attention to that. All right, good deal, guys. You guys have any input or additional comments on what we covered today? And it says she was torn between A and C. Well, it looks like you chose right in that. Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Is that, you know, again, you guys heard me say it before. You know, make sure your time is used wisely. Don't make the same mistake I did on my first exam and spend 15 minutes on a question and possibly still got it wrong. So, you know, guess if you have to and move on. It's in the past. After you answer, just move on because you can't go back. You know. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, have a good one, man. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Right, thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.